What's up, guys? It's Chokenator. This is about 5 a.m. in the morning, and this has sort of become a tradition now. But you guys know what's up. The grind never stops. I have another Q&A here from Central Valley Smash. Clemente asking for a friend. What is the neutral exchange, and how do you know you are in an advantageous state or disadvantageous state? To address the first question, what is a neutral exchange? First, in order to define that, we have to know what the neutral position is. The neutral, as they call it, is basically this. In the beginning of the game, the players start, side on one side, one on the other side. In Street Fighter, it's perfectly symmetrical, right? In Smash, you might be on a platform or like if someone's on the ground. You guys can neutral start it if you want, but that's a neutral position, and then it's pretty much vying for position. Some people like to move forward, some people like to move back, some people like to jump. But eventually, the neutral exchange is when they get close together and start, fighting. Like one person attacks the other, or maybe someone's throwing a projectile. You're trying to interrupt a neutral position to put yourself at a greater advantage. And so I kind of broke down neutral exchanges to 7 different types. Let me know if I'm missing any. And so the first type of neutral exchange is obviously a clean hit. And this is, it's very self-explanatory. I throw out a jab or I throw out a projectile and it gets a hit. The second type is a block. A core mechanic of every fighting game. James Chen said in a video or a blog, he said, blocking is broken. And if you know how to block in your fighting game, it's just going to put you way over like more than half of the population. Like, a lot of people are trying to attack, they're trying to do what they want, and blocking is one of the easiest ways to not give your opponent what they want. And that is a surefire way to victory. A lot of times people say in Melee, like, I don't know if you play Melee or Smash 4, but in Smash, like, blocking a lot is, people say that's bad because people are going to try to open you up. Well, if you just keep blocking, sometimes you just got to sit there and hold your shield and see what your opponent does to change tact. Are they going to grab you? Are they going to try to do a fadeaway? Blocking just opens up so much room for you to, make decisions. So that's really important. The third, and what I find to be the most important, it depends on the type of player you are to know which of these types of exchanges is the most important. But in my opinion, the most important is the whiff. So if someone's trying to get a clean hit on you and you don't have to waste time blocking it because it missed, it's evasion, it's being right outside of range, or your opponent just you make them look like they made a silly decision. It's your air ball in basketball, but it's as if someone shot a perfect 3, but you're able to move the rim in basketball, right? That is the whiff. So whiffs, obviously, people can just do whiffs as an unforced error, but if you can do a forced error, if you can bait out a whiff, in my opinion, that is one of the strongest techniques in fighting games. The whiff punish, if you guys seen that video about footsies, the whiff punish is what you need to be playing. That's the game you need to be playing in order to get good. You need to know what your opponent is looking for, what kind of clean hits your opponent is looking for, and you want to make it miss. By the way, I put a throw or a grab. I kind of categorize that also under clean hit because it works the same way. There's a hitbox, except grabbing beats blocking. So, in my opinion, you're just throwing out a hitbox and it's successful. So, I kind of categorize those two together. The fourth type of exchange is a trade. Now, they work in a lot of different ways. In a lot of fighting games, if 2 people grab at the same time, they sort of break the grab and they separate. Sometimes in Smash, one character, because of controller port priority, will get the grab in the same frame. But a trade is basically, not with grabs, but with attacks, is when both characters get hit at the same time. And so if you think of the game in terms of hurt boxes and hitboxes, if those sort of cross paths, if the hitboxes hit the hurt boxes of each other, you get this moment in anime where one guy punches, like Goku punches Frieza's cheek, and then Frieza kicks Goku's cheek at the same time, and they both get hit. That's your DBZ trade. And in Smash Brothers, you do get this DBZ type moments where you trade both at 100% and you both go flying off in different directions. But this happens even at low percents too. You can trade jabs, you could trade tilts, you could trade smash attacks, and maybe you can crouch cancel them in Melee. But trades are very important. They're very important to recognize when you should go for them and when it might be a bad idea. Usually, if you're at a higher percent, you don't want to risk a trade. At a low percent, you can risk it and still have it be in your favor. So it's good to know in what situations you can take a trade and when you don't want to take a trade. The fifth one is a clank, and this doesn't really happen in a lot of fighting games, but it's pretty important in Smash. There are some times where you need to just recognize, okay, we clanked, it's back to neutral. For the most part, when two characters clank, a clank, Marth's hitting both jabs together and it goes ding. Or it could be two foxes like jabbing at the same time, and it just resets them. But the frame advantage after a clank is equal, right? On a whiff, your advantage is gone. Like you're in the recovery lag of a move. Sometimes when you block, it depends. Like sometimes a move can be safe on block. It can be plus on block, and what it means to be plus on block is that you can move first. So if you hit someone with say a shine and you can move first, that means you have frame advantage. So sometimes moves are positive or negative on block, which means the person who blocked can move first, means it's negative. If the person who attacked moved first, it's positive. So when you clank, normally there's 0 frame advantage, so you're plus 0, minus 0, whatever, it's 0. So if you clank, you're back to neutral, and you have to make a decision from here. Am I going to block? You're in very close range. I'm going to talk about the ranges in a bit. So the last two are not really that important. It just depends on the type of character you play. These are pretty character dependent. The sixth one is a reflect or a counter. Now a reflect is you're reflecting a projectile. This may or may not hit depending on how far away they shot the projectile. A counter is basically, what it says. In Smash 4, there's a bunch of these. A ton of characters have counters. And it's if you read that someone's going to go for a clean hit, and then you take the hit and then counter them back. You don't take any damage. That's very self-explanatory. The last one is not often seen in Smash. It's seen pretty often in Street Fighter or other fighting games. It's a reversal. And a reversal is like as soon as you wake up or as soon as you're outside of some recovery frame, you do some instant fast, usually an invincible attack that interrupts the opponent's attack or movement. So for example, in Street Fighter, right, if I'm playing Ken in Street Fighter 4 and someone knocked me down, I'm going to do the newbie tactic. I'm just going to go for the instant reversal, the low punch Shoryuken as soon as I wake up. Because it's invincible, it comes out really fast, like maybe frame 2 or 3. In Smash, there's not a lot of those. In Melee, the most notorious reversal is Wake Up Shine, right? A more commonly used reversal is Samus's up B out of shield. Now, in Smash 4, I'm not really sure how many like really fast invincible attacks there are out of shield or out of Wake Up, but I'm sure there are some of them. So I'm sure you guys know what those are. But that's a reversal. So again, to review, there's clean hits, there's blocks, whiffs, trades, clanks, reflects and counters, and reversals. And in my eyes, let me know if I'm missing anything, but those are all the types of neutral exchanges. Now, how do you know you're in an advantageous or disadvantageous state? This is very interesting. So there are times when it's very clear, right? I think the first thing you need to look at is obviously matchup. I think if you look at the tools and a character's tools and you look at the matchup, it can be pretty clear that one character beats the other. In Melee, it's very clear because you have a long history of matchups and you have a long database of knowledge. In Smash 4, a bit of a younger game, a lot of people say, oh, this character beats this character, but in my opinion, it's not super clear at times. Obviously, Bayonetta beats most characters, she just has way too many tools. But I think advantages and disadvantages can be kind of nebulous, right? Like Pikachu versus Bowser in Smash 4, a lot of people say Pikachu wins. I personally think Bowser wins, right? Like Pikachu might have all the options in mobility, but I think Bowser, because of rage and because of range and rage, there's a lot of things Bowser can do to kind of kill Pikachu instantly. So it becomes kind of nebulous, especially in a game like Smash 4 where there's rage. Matchups change depending on your percentage. So I don't know. So that's the first thing you need to look at, right? But once you've seen the tools and you understand that what tools they want to go for, they're probably going to go for their best tools. Now, even if you're in a quote-unquote disadvantaged matchup, you can still clearly call out that they are going to go for certain moves because those are the most rewarding. So if you are ready for those and you know how to counter them, you know the counterplay, like I said, in my opinion, the most important counterplay for anything is a whiff punish. If you think they're going to go for a move and you know how to get around it, like if someone does a forward punching attack, maybe you want to come from above, or you want to wait until the laggy punch ends right outside of the range, and then you want to go in for the attack. A whiff punish, in my opinion, is one of the best ways to defeat a quote-unquote bad matchup. Even, Ice Climbers versus Peach in Melee is doable by whiff punishing. If Peach whiffs her forward air, maybe you can grab her. If she whiffs a down smash, both moves notoriously good against Ice Climbers. If they whiff, you can grab her. Like, this is how to beat this event, bad matchups. People say bad matchups are bad. They say 60-40 because 40% of the time you can win because you take advantage of, them going for obvious moves. Another time where it's very obvious is, apart from matchups and very clear whiffs, like laggy whiffs, another obvious advantage is stage positioning, right? So, in Street Fighter, you don't want to be in the corner, because in the corner, you can't dash back, you can't jump back, it's not going to take you anywhere, you're just going to be stuck there. You have to jump out of the corner, which is very predictable, or you have to fight out of the corner, which is hard because you can't move back, right? In Melee and in Smash 4, it's pretty much the same idea, except there's more options. There's more movement options in Smash. So the corner is not too bad because you can take the ledge, which is somewhat safe. It's not really safe. I think also this is also a character dependent thing. In Melee, Ice Climbers very bad on the ledge because Nana can't grab the ledge, right? Nana can't sweet spot. In Smash 4, Little Mac very dangerous by the ledge because his recovery is bad, right? So there are times where the ledge is going to be bad, but I think in general, if you're near the ledge in Smash, it's a bad position because same reason as Street Fighter, you lose options like dash away, roll away, jump away. You're going to be off stage and you're going to be closer to death. And you want to be near the middle of the stage where you're less likely to die because you have more room to DI. You have more movement options. You can move back and forth. You have the most space to move back and forth. You can jump around, and you're not limited to a certain pocket of space. So the very clear times you're in advantage, matchup, whiff punish, if you know a move's unsafe on block, stage positioning, right? But I think these are pretty easy to see. And the thing is, that question, how do you know? Well, because you're fighting an opponent that is also making decisions at the same time as you can never really know, right? Like, they could be looking to whiff punish if you think you're at an advantage. So, there's something in Smash that we call a scramble. I don't know what they call it in Street Fighter, like a scramble or a weird neutral situation. I think they call it scrambles too, right? So, a scramble, what that is maybe you're, say, in really close range to each other, and you're not really sure who has the frame advantage. You're not really sure who's executing perfectly. So you have to make a decision. Am I just going to go for the Shoryuken? Am I just going to go for the Wake Up Shine? Are they looking for the Shoryuken or Wake Up Shine? Are they looking for me to block right here because I'm scared, so they're going to grab me? So in these really, really close tight situations, it's pretty hard to know. And at that point, it helps if you know your opponent, right? If you're a read-based player, if you know what your opponent's going to do, or you have an educated guess, right? You can never really know. That's a gamble. But if you have an educated guess of what your opponent's going to do next, you can punish them for that. Now, some people don't like to play that way. Some people don't really like to play the RPS game because it introduces an element of luck. I personally, I'm an aggressive player. I love, reads. I love, setting up RPS situations. But some people don't like to play like that. Some people want control. Some people want 100% control. So they try to put themselves in positions where they're always going to be safe. Even if they're caught in a scramble, if you study that situation enough, you can know what to do in that scramble. For example, Sheik. I think of Spark, right? He's a very scientific player. A lot of times he's going to want to nair out of shield or jump out of shield. Like, he's very good out of shield because he knows what their opponents are looking for to open up your blocking. So he's going to hold shield for a while and then know, okay, you're going to go for this at this time. So I'm going to do an option that defensively covers most of what you can do. So I'm just going to get away, right? So, and there are times where, even if you're a scientific player, when you're at frame advantage, even the very, very small frame advantages, you know how you can take advantage of those, right? So, there are, you have the RPS within your matchups. You have the reads-based players, educated guesses, and then you have your scientific. I'm going to always be an advantage in every situation as much as I can, right? And everyone is on a different spectrum of that, and even as one player, you don't have to be stuck on the spectrum. And I think that's really bad to be stuck on a spectrum. If for example, my weakness when I play the game is I'm always gonna attack. I almost always attack as soon as I get the chance, right? And I'm always trying to force people to make bad defensive options in order for me to punish them. So I'm always moving forward. That's my weakness, right? That's a weakness I need to patch up. And so what I need to do is sort of dial it back a bit and move a little bit to defense. I think some people might be too defensive and they might not know when to attack, or they might be too scared to take risks, which are necessary, especially if someone's just going to bully you to the corner, right? If you're constantly moving back, like this guy's constantly moving back, this guy's going to chase him down, not even going to attack sometimes, and just move him down, bully him down, and take that space. So, there needs to be this. You want to have this. Some people, sort of lean towards the forward movement. Some people lean towards the back movement. So you want to know where you kind of lie in that spectrum and what you can do to change yourself in that spectrum. Are you defensive? Are you aggressive? Do you like to move forward? Do you like to whiff? Like, what is your tendencies? And overall, you want to be well-rounded. You want to have all of the above. You want to have offense. You want to have defense. You want to have reads. You want to have frame data knowledge. And that level of preparedness is what's going to make you better. And that's why I think the people that play more with smart practice in mind are the ones who are going to be good. So I have a bunch of notes here. I think I've talked about all of them. Okay, here's the thing. Here's what I think it takes to get to the highest level. And I know you weren't really asking about that, but I think what it takes to get to the highest level is you need that level of science. You need to constantly be looking for answers because, some people say that, oh, Bayonetta's side B is broken, right? Or Falco's laser eliminates so much of the neutral game, right? It's too good. But that's never true. There are always answers to a strong move. There's always going to be an answer. Even if that character's the best in the game, and sometimes the answer is to pick that character and start abusing it, right? But sometimes if you insist on playing a disadvantageous matchup, there will always be something you can figure out, right? Unless you play a really, really bottom tier character, then they have so few answers that you have to resort to defense most of the time. That's bad, right? But if your character's pretty decent and you have a lot of tools, you can usually find some kind of tool to beat that really strong tool. So with that science in mind, if you keep finding answers to answers to answers to answers, which will lead you to more questions, which will lead you to more answers, all of that learning has to be applied in a way that's instinctive. And that's really important because if you're spending too much time thinking in a game, it can possibly slow down your reaction times, it can slow down your decision making, and you will be just, milliseconds slower than the opponent, especially if you're an older guy like me. Sometimes you face against players with young man reactions, so you always have to set up situations for yourself where you're able to react, right? That's another thing. Reaction time is something to really be taken into account. But anyway, that science has to be ingrained into your instincts. It has to be ingrained into your reactions, ingrained into your decision making so finely, and it has to be so fine-tuned that these quote-unquote decisions might not be decisions at all. You want to condition yourself to make the right decision or even the right mix-up on a decision without thinking. And I think that is how one gets to the highest level. I think if you're able to apply that science and know, to make things not thinking, right, you have to deliberately practice it. For example, I'm going to learn how to flip an egg or flip a pancake with a frying pan. And I have a frying pan, and I'm going to, I'm going to try to flip it once. Oh, it flies out of the pan. That pancake is trash now. I have to try it again. And eventually, if I keep doing it thousands and thousands of times, I'm just going to be, talking to someone in the kitchen, telling me to get more pancake batter, and I'm going to be flipping pancakes in both hands, right? With that kind of practice, you don't have to think. It just doesn't require attention anymore. So, that is how you push yourself to the highest level. And I know you guys didn't really ask about that. But you asked a really interesting question about the neutral and about advantages and disadvantages that sort of led me to that point. And so I hope this answer helps, and I hope that was informative. And let me know if you disagreed with anything, or let me know if you have any more questions to sort of supplement the question you had earlier, or let me know if I'm a you know a total noob or a scrub who doesn't know what I'm talking about, and correct me, educate me. All right. Tell me to just wobble. You know. Anyways, I'm gonna say good night / good morning to you all. Hope you all have a good day. I love you all. God bless you all. You know, shout out to God. God bless you all. And I'm gonna answer more questions soon. All right, peace. Later, everyone.